If you'd like to see more of our videos, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube or follow us here on Instagram. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today's December 9th, 2019. And today is Monday morning, so no major economic events scheduled for today. But as the week moves along, we will have some major economic events coming up, including a vote in the UK for the next prime minister. Okay, very important vote that's happening this week. Now, looking at the markets, we watched the currencies. The euro selling off, okay, and being true to itself and being weak, while the British pound remains strong, retracing a little bit at resistance, but not much. Okay, so this has been true, and I've mentioned it several times. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, we rallied on the back of the NFP last week, the best unemployment number since 1969. Okay, that's amazing. That is truly amazing. We're at 28,000-ish level right now. Now, looking at the commodities, what happens? Gold sells off. Okay, very natural. Dow Jones rallies, gold sells off, all pretty much unchanged. And lastly, looking at the stocks, what is the stock that carried us higher last week? JP Morgan to new all-time highs. This is not a small stock to move higher. Okay, so this is really amazing. Okay, historic. I can't emphasize this enough. You people that are trading the currencies and not trading U.S. stocks, you're missing out on some tremendous moves. So to new all-time highs, while the tech stocks remain resilient and very strong. But let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So this is what I'm talking about. We're looking at the Euro USD at a 4-hour chart, as you can see here, and you see that double top that we made last week, a 110.05-ish, okay, let's call it. And then we were retracing down to 110.61-ish. We were close to 111-ish last week, okay? So a 40-pip retracement, again, very choppy, very small moves, but it was a retracement, and it is weak, okay? So two factors there that could have given you an easy trade, just intraday, okay, to make 40, 50 pips. Not a bad trade at all, but relatively still a very small trade. Now, if we look at the GBP USD, remaining strong, not retracing whatsoever. So the character of both the euro and the GBP has been consistent. The GBP being strong and the euro being weak. So every time the GBP goes up, the euro just a little bit tags along, but when it sells off and you see some sort of a retracement, especially when the Dow Jones goes higher, the euro sells off first, which is really very characteristic, okay? Now, jumping into the commodities, we watch gold retrace, okay? And this really happened on the back of the fact that the Dow Jones went up, okay? Now, this is very natural. We're still in a range between 1480 and 1450-ish level. We're about 10 pips or 10 points away from our lower support line of 1448-ish level, but just be aware of it. If the Dow Jones continues to rally into the end of the year, like I've mentioned several times before, I expect us to break this 1448-ish level as well. Now, jumping into that Dow Jones, we retracing a little bit this morning. We're looking at a daily chart right now. And this is what's so beautiful, okay, guys? I mentioned this last week. I emphasized this. This was previous resistance, subsequent support, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Okay, you guys all asked me what kind of, supernatural kind of trading strategies do I use? This is simple, okay? You guys watch this. A 3-year-old could watch this and look at this, okay? Really, maybe a 5-year-old, okay? Not a 3-year-old. But this is support and resistance. That's all I'm trading. And boom, you would have made from 26,400-ish level up to 28,000. That's a 600-point move. With one lot of this, you would have made about $2,000 to $3,000, okay? In easy, less than a week trade, okay? That's what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about trading aggressively on the Dow Jones. Now, jumping into the stocks, and what has taken us higher is JP Morgan, trading at 135. Guys, we picked this up at 106, 118, 120. It went to 125, and now it's 135. I'm telling you, okay, at this rate, it's going to hit 150 either before the end of the year, and then I expect a little bit of a sell-off, but we'll get into that in my webinar into the 2019 in review and 2020 outlook. But altogether, if we look at a monthly chart, this thing's a monster, okay? A 135 all-time highs. It's never been at these levels ever, okay? Tremendous amount of levels that it's trading at. Google continues its strength at 1336, remaining very strong. Microsoft catching up into its highs to 152, okay? So remaining a little bit strong there. Apple as well, on its new all-time highs of $270 a share. Now remember, I gave this a $250 target, and it's $270. It's strong. Trade Apple, trade JP Morgan. Don't trade the Euro USD. It's not bringing as much money home to most of the traders. Okay, this, I can't emphasize this enough. I've been saying this almost every single day. Now, if we do continue this momentum this week, we can definitely see it continue going higher. Now, looking back at the Dow Jones, all right, we're retracing a little bit this morning. Let's look at a 4-hour chart, just a little bit, just dipping below 28,000. Now, again, we've got to break this 28,165, and I think we will, because the stocks are carrying the market higher. It's not all the stocks, but one day it's JP Morgan, one day it's the FANG stocks, one day it's finally picking up on Alcoa, and these are the things that are going to bring it together towards the end of the year for a smash year. Okay, so I would look for some sort of dip today, okay, maybe in the next couple of days. It could be a little bit choppy trading because of this UK voting on Thursday, but just be aware that the markets are still very strong. The NFP came out tremendously strong, so my bias is still on the upside. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.